capable of unlimited achievements. We are afforded countless opportunities. But the one thing that we must all understand and appreciate is that whatever opportunities present itself, that opportunity may yield us to step outside of our comfort zone. Toastmasters provides us an opportunity to step outside of our comfort zone. As a matter of fact, we've heard speeches in this very room where people were challenged to do just that. We've heard speeches from people who have shared stories that they wouldn't normally tell the average person. Speeches about overcoming adversity, death, other family problems, and personal health problems. So those of you who can relate to this experience understand that stepping outside of your comfort zone is no easy task. It requires us to be fearless, adventurous, daring, and vulnerable. So that's why some of us may hold ourselves back when challenged to step outside of our comfort zone, because we may be afraid of the unknown, afraid of change. I'm here to tell you that you will feel rewarded with the sense of accomplishment that you've seized an opportunity without any regret to step outside of your comfort zone. And today, I'm going to share with you 3 stories that will inspire you to do just that. Once upon a time, there was a boy, barely 20 years old, who sat down facing the ocean. The waves were as calm as the wind that had touched against his feet. He sat there appreciating an awesome view from one of the most beautiful beaches in all of Central America. The name of that beach was Playa Conchal in Costa Rica. He sat there sitting on sand that was very unique. And as a matter of fact, it wasn't even sand. He was sitting on tiny, itsy-bitsy, crushed up, granular shells of many different colors. It was like a rainbow of sand. He said to himself, "This is the life." This was a moment of peace and satisfaction, but more importantly, it was a moment of reflection. You see, nearly 10 months prior to that moment, that boy arrived in Costa Rica for the first time. And he waited for his new Costa Rican family to greet him at the airport. And as he waited, fear and doubts crept into his mind. He realized he was thousands of miles away from his family and friends. And he asked himself questions such as, how will I survive? Who can I trust? And why the heck did I decide to travel this far to another country? When his family finally showed up, his Costa Rican mother came up to him and said, "No se preocupe, no se preocupe." The boy nodded as if he understood what she meant, but he didn't understand. He didn't understand that she was telling him, "Don't worry, don't worry." He was too busy being afraid, too busy doubting himself. Ladies and gentlemen, he was outside of his comfort zone. So when the boy finally arrived to his new Costa Rican family's house, his host father tried to show him how to use the shower. He said, "Vuelta la cosa para duchar por la derecha, después por la izquierda, y después por la mitad." The boy looked at him confused, but he was too embarrassed, and he didn't understand that he was telling him, turn the shower to the right, turn the shower knob to the left, and then to the middle. In a third world country, Costa Rican showers operate a lot differently than in the United States. And because the boy was so embarrassed and couldn't even understand or explain how he didn't understand what he was saying, he took a cold shower that night. The next day, he met a second challenge. He had to report to school. And he felt like he was very confident, and he was going on his way to school. He was walking down the street until he realized one thing. He was lost. He didn't realize that he didn't know where he was going. It was the perfect storm for him. He couldn't speak Spanish. He didn't know anyone in the town, and he didn't know his way around the town. So the boy walked frantically up and down the street, trying to find the right person to help him find his way around the town. So he walked up and he noticed the bank, and he noticed the guard holding this big shotgun outside of the bank. And he got the courage, the boy got the courage out of all people, to walk up to this guy, and in his best and worst Spanish, he walked up to him and he said, "Yo no soy donde está." And the guard looked at him with this confused look on his face, and he said, "Como?" The boy felt helpless for a second, but then he remembered this one phrase that he learned while he was on his flight to Costa Rica the other day. So he wittingly responded and he said, "Ayúdame," and pulled out a piece of paper that had his full address on it. The guard finally understood. He understood that he was lost. So the guard went and got his other co-worker, who was off that day, to escort him to school. And as a result of that experience, as the boy sat there on the beach, pontificating on his first experience in Costa Rica, had a sense of pride and satisfaction, because that was the beginning of his ability to learn and speak Spanish fluently. He learned a new friend, and he learned his way around the town. Now, the next story involves a woman. She moved to another state in order for a new opportunity and to be with her spouse. And when it came to finding a new job, she had such difficulty negotiating her salary. She would tell her spouse how uncomfortable she felt when that discussion came up. She was never prepared to have that discussion, and she feared that if she negotiated too high, she would talk herself right out of a job. And if she negotiated too low, she'd end up regretting that mistake for the rest of her life. You see, she knew what she was worth. And at the same time, she feared that if her employer knew how much she got paid at her other job, she would be offered close to that amount. And she didn't want that to happen. She saw this as an opportunity for her to step outside of her comfort zone. So what did she do? She did her homework. She researched. She went online. She researched how to negotiate a salary. She researched the etiquette, how to act when that situation comes up. And as a result of that, not only was she able to negotiate her salary and have that difficult conversation, she was able to negotiate her salary at the highest amount that she ever received. And finally, the next story involves a woman, actually a 60-year-old who recently retired from a job where she worked nearly 30 years. And when she retired, she realized that she wanted to do something else. But what could she do? She had no idea. And she talked to her family. And her family suggested that she go back to school. And she considered that for a second. But she was afraid. You see, she hadn't gone to school in decades. She had a reputable career with a good phone company, but she needed to do something after. So, after her family strongly encouraged her for a life after retiring, she decided to go back to school. And she was afraid to compete. Not only was she able to successfully go back to school, she's going to graduate with her master's degree in 3 months, and she's highly competitive with the rest of the students. So you see, ladies and gentlemen, we are inherently afraid. What makes us so galere is that we are afraid. We have fear. Fear of change, fear to step outside of our comfort zone, and fear of the unknown. Heck, I understand. I've been there. I was that boy that was in Costa Rica. But I'm here to tell you that stepping outside of your comfort zone, yes, it does make you uncomfortable and it is difficult. But look no further than that boy that was in Costa Rica, thousands of miles away from his home. Look no further than that woman who tried her best to negotiate her salary and successfully did that. And look no further than the woman who recently retired and went back to school and successfully is going to get her new master's degree to inspire you to step outside of your comfort zone.